Good morning. Today is Sunday, November 19th. My name is Jillian Major, and I'm a Sunday school teacher here at First Congregational Church United Church of Christ in Muskegon, Michigan. Each week, I'll be sharing an affirmation and a story from the Progressive Christianity curriculum, which First Congregational Church did purchase, but we do not own the copyrights to. This week, our affirmation is, I give thanks to every giver and to the one source of all that is. We're on lesson 33, which is expressing gratitude. Our story today is called Deo Gratias. A long time ago in Ireland, there was a beloved saint named Patrick. He and his brother monks lived simply together in a monastery, and they spent their time teaching about God and helping people whenever they could. There was a rich chieftain named Connor who lived in the country near St. Patrick. He liked being powerful and important, and he wanted everyone to know his name and admire him. He made a big show of helping the poor so people would talk about how generous he was and be grateful to him. The chieftain had been hearing a great deal about St. Patrick lately, and he was tired of it. He thought to himself, there must be a way to remind people how important I am and get the great St. Patrick to see that as well. He summoned his strongest servant and told his hunters to bring enough meat to feed 20 people. When the servant and the meat arrived, he said, take this meat to St. Patrick and tell him the great chieftain Connor has sent it and wishes to share it with the poor people. Remember all he says, and when you return, be sure to repeat every word of praise and gratitude here in front of everyone. Chieftain Connor waited anxiously all day, and when the servant finally returned, everyone was gathered to hear about St. Patrick's reaction. The servant appeared to be quite nervous and dutifully told his master that the meat had been accepted and would be distributed to the poor by St. Patrick and the monks. Then the servant very quietly said, when I told him the meat was a gift from you, Lord Connor, the saint lifted his eyes to the heaven and said, Deo gratias, that is all. That is all, he said, exclaimed the chieftain with astonishment. Apparently, the great St. Patrick doesn't understand how expensive that meat was. Go back with him with enough to feed 30 people. That will make him show more gratitude than just 2 words. The tired servant returned very late that night and responded to his master. This time, St. Patrick lifted his eyes to the heaven and fell to his knees. He said, Deo gratias, and then was silent. I even asked the saint if there was another message for you, but he said nothing, my lord. Chieftain Connor was enraged. I don't even know what those words mean. Bring me enough meat to feed 50 people. Take it and tell him I am awaiting his gratitude or else. The poor, exhausted servant did as he was told. When he returned to his master at dawn, he only had 2 words to report, Deo gratias. Chieftain Connor strapped on his long sword and got on his horse. He fumed with anger as he rode to the small, humble monastery. He pounded on the door and demanded to see St. Patrick. When the saint appeared at the door, he didn't seem surprised to find the chieftain with his sword held high, ready to strike. 2 words are not enough thanks for all that expensive meat I gave you. You have one last chance to show me proper respect and gratitude, monk, yelled Connor. St. Patrick calmly replied, those 2 words weigh more in the eyes of heaven than all of your gifts, Chieftain Connor. I will show you. The chieftain was too astonished to protest as a large balanced scale was brought out and all the meat he had was placed on one side. Then the saint took a quill pen and wrote 2 words on a piece of parchment and placed it on the other side of the scale. Chieftain Connor and all who were there stared in amazement as the scale dipped down to the ground on the side that held the parchment. They knew it was a miracle. St. Patrick explained that the words Deo gratias meant thanks be to God. The chieftain then understood that the miracle was for him. He had demanded gratitude for himself, and he had forgotten that everything comes from God.